Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So today I'm going to be channeling through a message for a specific divine feminine. I don't know exactly who this is going to be for, but I'm setting the intention that whoever you are, wherever you are tuning into this video, that if this message is for you, it will find you and reach you whenever it's meant to, because these videos are also timeless as well. So whenever or wherever you're tuning in from is precisely the right moment for you to be hearing this message. Now, with that being said, if you would like me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation, I do recommend subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as these are forms of energy transfer that do tend to allow me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by shuffling the traditional tarot cards. So what does the divine feminine listening need to know most at this time? Okay, so I'm picking up on a divine feminine who's been in some kind of state of anxiety, and I'm kind of sensing this heaviness around you, almost sort of like a kind of cloudy energy where it's difficult to see through, almost like being in the middle of a fog. But I'm getting the sense that it's some kind of mental fog or some kind of heaviness around you energetically. And yet the strange thing about this fog is that I'm hearing it's creating some kind of breakthrough. It's almost creating this energetic pressure within you that is pushing through some kind of breakthrough or some kind of clarity about a situation. I feel that there is something or someone in your life, or maybe even some aspect of yourself, that you are going to be seeing more clearly as a result of this situation that actually feels like some kind of fog. So let me go ahead and reshuffle here and see if I can channel through anything else about this. So let's start by talking about the fog and what this might be for you specifically. I feel as though there's some kind of like deep-seated fear or worry or anxiety within you that is somehow being highlighted by recent events or circumstances, or is somehow coming to the surface. And yet the strange thing about this is there's a profound spiritual significance to this. It's not just happening randomly out of the blue. It's got this spiritual quality to it, where the reason you are currently experiencing this fog or feeling these fears or anxieties being highlighted is actually because some kind of breakthrough is meant to be pushed through you at this time and through this situation that may actually feel really heavy. And for someone listening, okay, this is going to be such a hyper-specific reading, so I really don't know who this is for, but I'm getting the message that for someone listening, there is almost this deep-seated fear or anxiety where you aren't even really entirely sure where the source of it is. Like maybe it's always been this feeling within you, or this pattern that you've had, or something that's occurred for you mentally, and you may not have ever really known where this came from. And I'm getting that this actually could be something that's become deeply embedded in your subconscious, almost like a subconscious limiter or limiting belief system because of something that actually happened in your childhood or when you were younger. This will be especially true if you are someone who had a really difficult childhood or someone who has been through really heavy or even traumatic things in your life. So, as I said earlier, this reading absolutely will not be for everyone. I feel like I'm speaking to a very specific person or small collective of people here. So, as I say with all of my readings, only take this if it is connecting for you personally. I am picking up a lot of air sign energy here, especially Gemini energy, but this also could be Gemini season, which we're going to be entering into before too long. And so there could be something about Gemini season or something shifting during that season for you. Okay, so let's start by channeling into, well, right at the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Cups reversed. So for the Divine Feminine I'm speaking to here, I feel as though there's been this part of you walking around almost feeling inherently broken or feeling like there's something wrong with you, especially in the way that you show up when it comes to love relationships or maybe even other forms of interpersonal connections like friendships and social groups. I just have this sense of you feeling as though, or maybe your whole life walking around with this sense that you haven't been able to really stabilize or solidify certain types of relationships in your life. Again, whether they're romantic or non-romantic, or even that there's something inherently broken about you, which of course isn't the case, but I feel like this is that limiting belief system or that like subconscious fear that comes up here. And I do feel something about this stems back to things that may have happened in your childhood or ways that you may have been taught to perceive yourself. But I'm picking up that it actually goes much deeper than that, because at the bottom of the deck, we have the Justice card, and this speaks to something karmic taking place. And specifically, what I'm getting is there seems to be either something in terms of your past lives coming up here, or something that you are carrying for past generations that came before you. So there's something inherently about you carrying some kind of spiritual weight that your system hasn't always really known how to understand or how to process. And so it's almost like you've learned to label the spiritual significance of something that you are carrying in this lifetime for the purpose of shifting it, but you've learned to almost like label that as actually being broken or actually being some kind of negative trait about yourself, when it's actually speaking to some kind of really deep and unique spiritual purpose that you hold. And I am picking up that you are someone who actually holds many different spiritual purposes in this lifetime. This is part of what has made your life a bit confusing as well, because for the Divine Feminine that I'm speaking to here, I almost feel as though you are someone who has found it really difficult to settle in almost every sense, whether that's been settling in a location, in a job, a career path, a life path, a relationship, a friend group. I feel like you have this very nomadic soul, and that's actually for a reason. You were not meant to settle. And in fact, part of why you've always felt like you've drifted or been very transient or nomadic in the way that you've shifted between ideas, hobbies, interests, goals, parts of yourself, maybe places, relationships, it's actually because you have taken on many different spiritual roles in this lifetime, all within a singular lifetime. And so what has looked like chaos or instability or just not settling externally, or maybe at times you've even judged it this way, what appears that way is actually you following your intuition on this unfolding journey where you were not meant to live just one specific purpose or one specific path, but to experience many different roles, many different pathways, many different energies and dynamics for the purpose of serving many different spiritual purposes all in one lifetime. And this is very different from how most souls operate within a lifetime, which is also part of why you've always felt deeply misunderstood and so different from other people. Because I get the sense of there being pressures around you, people who have told you, why can't you just settle into one job or into one place or into one like social environment or even like a version of yourself? I'm hearing something about changing hair or changing hair color that might be relevant for someone, but this also could just be kind of metaphoric about how you are constantly going through these like personal evolutions, changes, and alterations in a way, whether that's with yourself, with your appearance, or with your life path. But this has also actually been, with the High Priestess. Wow, this is a major sign of confirmation. This has been you following your intuition. I'm getting the sense that you almost have like this kind of shapeshifter energy where you can mesh and mold and kind of blend yourself with different environments, like immerse yourself in different energies or energy dynamics or connections or places for the purpose of, I'm hearing, both activating something within yourself, but also activating the other person or the other place or dynamic as well. It's like in you following your intuition, even though at times it looks ungrounded or chaotic from an external perspective, this is actually you. I'm seeing like this pathway lighting up, like literally illuminating itself. It's like you illuminating this pathway forward, energetically exchanging with and activating and being activated by these different dynamics for the purpose of some higher spiritual evolution taking place within you, within every person, within every group, and on a planetary level. And you're playing this really powerful role in this. Your intuition is being a guide through all of that. But I almost get the sense as though very few people seem to understand why you operate in this way. And specifically, I feel for the Divine Feminine here, you've had this elusive quality about you where you've always been difficult to grasp, like this sort of enigma that's very mysterious that people experience as an energy even more than they see it visibly or perceptively. And what I'm getting is that it's like you have this very free spirit about you, but you've come across people, energies, or dynamics that sense the power and the rarity of your soul and your essence. And it's almost like they want to own you or they want to possess you in some way. When I say that, I just mean it's like I'm hearing they want to take all the credit. I don't know what exactly that means for you, but maybe it's that they want to take credit for things that you are doing or creating, or for your art, or for your business ideas, or your ideas generally. I feel like there are people who want some level of ownership over your energy, over your essence, but your whole nature is so opposed to, so contradictory to being controlled. It's like we all have core soul values within us that stem much deeper than our programming, than anything from this singular lifetime, that actually speak to our core soul nature. And I feel like one of your major core soul values is freedom. I'm hearing wildness. Maybe people look at you as wild to some extent, or your life, or the way you operate in your life. And I'm almost picking up that some of these heavy feelings or the fog that might be coming in around you at times, I'm hearing, is it even yours? Is this even your fog or your lack of clarity? Or is this something that you are picking up on from other people or from society? Wow, this is a really powerful breakthrough right within this message, because what I'm getting for some of you, I'm just hearing you know what you're doing. You know who you are. You know who you are in this world, what you're meant to be sharing, what you're meant to be creating. And it's almost like you know what you know how to follow your intuition, but this fog comes in when you try to take other people's opinions into account, when you try to make decisions based on how other people are perceiving you or society is perceiving you. And I feel like this can even happen subconsciously without you fully realizing it. Like you might kind of wake up in a low state of being, or you might suddenly feel really low after speaking with someone or interacting with someone or being in an environment, because it's almost like you're picking up on other people's judgments or perceptions of the way that you choose to live your life so intuitively, so freely. And then you're internalizing those judgments instead of just, it's almost like this message is coming in, like allow your life to appear ungrounded and appear chaotic to other people, because it's not chaotic from a spiritual perspective. It's extremely divinely guided, and you know what you're doing. You know where you're going, and you know who you are. Embrace it. The thing I'm getting so strongly is like, you already know all of these things. You knew all of these things prior to incarnating here on earth and prior to clicking on this video. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I feel someone's personal spirit guide or higher self or whatever divine forces you connect with may be coming through this video just to remind you of what you already know. It's almost like you are a master at something. You are an expert, like spiritually, or maybe at something specific, but you do it in your own way. It may not look like traditional mastery is what I'm picking up. It might not look like mastery in the traditional 3D sense, but it's mastery in the spiritual and energetic sense. And I'm hearing something as well about embracing your value with confidence, whether it's the value of your art, your voice, your creations, your ideas, because there's a reason people have always wanted some level of ownership of you, some level of possession of you and your energy and what you're creating. It's because everyone on the planet who's come across you has sensed your value, your worth, even if it was unconscious, or even if they were too proud to express your worth to you or to acknowledge it out loud. Everyone has always sensed it. And I'm actually hearing, like, from your birth, people have sensed that there is something special and rare about you. And you've been right to embrace your freedom and to not allow any external force to control or possess this beautiful energy that you hold. I'm hearing, but to enhance and support it, because there's another message in here about being very cautious of the people that you allow into your environment. This reminds me of this morning when I was meditating. I saw this very, very small jumping spider. I had to look it up to figure out what it was. And I was looking up the spiritual significance of this. And apparently, because they are jumping spiders, they tend to move very quickly and suddenly and operate very differently from other spiders. And I immediately connected this with you and your energy and how you're being guided to let yourself have those periods of time where you are in a state of pause, where you aren't necessarily moving, but to trust when you feel those moments of inspired leap that come from your intuition, and to allow yourself to move in a different way than people around you may understand. Because I'm hearing you're weaving something, like a spider weaving a web. I feel like you're weaving some powerful vision or creation or something into being, but much of that weaving is happening energetically first in the spiritual realm, and then the way it's manifesting physically is more so in those moments of sudden leap, or what we could sometimes refer to as like a quantum leap, but it's those inspired actions that don't make sense fully to other people, but it's you weaving something into being energetically that manifests in a fashion that does at times look so fast moving when it does come in, when it does happen in the physical to other people, that they may label it as like crazy or magical, or they are going to be surprised by those movements forward. But again, it's like, you know what you're doing here. Don't let anyone take away your sense of spiritual mastery, because you are that master when it comes to something that you know or understand inherently. Again, whether it's related to your work, your creations, just the way that you operate in your life, you truly are like the master of operating and running your own life, whatever that means for you. And the message here is like, the more you consciously embrace and acknowledge that just within your own mind, within your own being, the more exponentially you progress forward. I feel like a major key for you right now, I saw 2020, maybe the year 2020 was really significant for you, but I'm really getting that a major key for you right now is simply embracing the level of confidence and mastery and expertise that you've already attained to. It's almost just like in recognizing that within yourself, you are going to start growing exponentially fast in the directions that you desire. And if you would like assistance in clearing out these subconscious limiting energy blocks that we've been describing, subliminals are a really powerful tool for deeply reprogramming and shifting your subconscious mind. So specifically for you, I would really recommend my subliminal called Highest-Vibrational Timeline. This will really help you to align with your highest timeline in all areas of your life when it comes to love, money, career, your relationship with others, your relationship with yourself. Personally, I tend to start feeling results from even just one listen of this subliminal. It's a really powerful one, and it comes from my Subliminals app, Sound and Soulful. So in this app, I have over 130 subliminals for love, money, appearance, relationships, for business, for mood, mindset, manifestation, and so many other things as well. And you can also listen to every subliminal in 10 different background sound options, just depending on your personal preference. You can read the affirmations embedded within each track while you're listening, and you can create your own custom private playlist as well. Subliminals work with the subconscious mind, which is so powerful because research shows it's actually our subconscious that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. So personally, I've seen more profound results, shifts, and changes using subliminals than any other manifestation technique that I've tried. So I personally use my own Subliminals app every single day, and I am so passionate about sharing it with all of you. You can find the app by searching it directly in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Again, the name of the app is Sound and Soulful, or you can go to the direct download link for it by clicking the link in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. But for now, I'm going to close with one final card from my Woodland Wardens deck, which is actually one of my newest decks. So I just want to know, what can I channel through the Bobcat and the Blackthorn? Patience. So I am just going to be sharing a little guidebook message for this card as well. And the guidebook says, Bobcats are stealthy hunters, blending easily into their environment. They are independent creatures who can wait for hours for their prey, pouncing up to 10 feet at the right moment. Wow, that is already a synchronicity, because this reminds me of the jumping spider. It's like pausing and waiting and then jumping at the right moment, like knowing when to pause and knowing when to leap really seems to be a major theme coming through this reading. The blackthorn is a thorny shrub covered in bittersweet berries called sloes. Associated with overcoming obstacles, the blackthorn's sharp spines provide shelter to vulnerable birds. So that feels like a really powerful message around divine protection and how you are so divinely protected and guided at this time. I also keep getting the sense of a certain dream or vision or something you're doing being extremely divinely guided. And this is just a bit of a closing side message, but I'm really feeling that as you really have the confidence in yourself to take those leaps forward as you're feeling inspired, not worrying about how it might be looked at or perceived by others. I feel you're going to notice things merging together for you in the physical, things aligning forward for you, because I get this sense of you like subconsciously almost calling in this level of divine support as you walk some kind of pathway that is deeply aligned with the core of your soul. And I'm sure we'll be talking about that more in future readings. So to stay tuned for those future reading videos, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at 𝗦ici𝗿𝘀, and you can now listen to my original channeled music that I write and sing through my brand new project, which is called Songs by 𝗬ncity𝗏. I have my very first song produced and available there. These are going to be channeled lyrics and threads of energy put into song form and released across streaming platforms. So thank you so much for all of your love and support on that project. I would love for you to follow Songs by 𝗬ncity𝗏 on Spotify, and I will be leaving a link to that under this video in the description box as well, if that's something that you're feeling guided to check out. So that's really everything for today's reading. Thank you so much again. I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.